Hello and welcome to Elflace. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell down below to know whenever I upload. I will link part 1 and part 2 up above and down below. Also, I would like to thank Ren. He was the DM, he's usually our forever DM, and he made this story for us to follow and go along with. He's an awesome DM, and I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate him and give credit where credit is due, because he came up with this as far as I know. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Where we left off is the party arrived in Tobithin and met a group called the Hateful Eight, a group of 4 dwarves and 4 elves. They had come back telling tales of Underhar, a dwarven citadel that was overrun by ghouls and other fiends. Danny and Lecter drank with them at night, while Bolzen looked for pockets to pick. Bledwin looked for information on the 3 lines that went from the stone. Dalen and Aaron were at the brothel at this time, and were getting some fun things going on. The first night, Danny was trying to join any gambling going on because he was like, oh, I'm really good at dice, so I want to join a gambling game. So he did end up doing that, and he was doing well for himself in the beginning, and then all of a sudden he started losing money. And then Bolzen, noticing that Danny had lost money, and this guy had a huge sack of money, that he should go and steal the money from him. Later, after they had drank a little bit, Danny and Lectra had gone to leave, and Bolzen started counting the money in the cart as they were leaving. Lectra noticed, because her passive was higher than him trying to hide it, and Lectra asks him, where did you get that money? We haven't gotten any since, we went down into the ruins. And Bolzen was like, oh, I found it. And Erin had come up at this point, and she was like, what are you guys talking about? And Lecter's like, we are talking about how Bolzen has money when we did not make any money. And Erin looks at him and is like, where did you get that? And he said, I don't know, I found it. Again, same story. And Lectra, realizing that he's obviously took it at this point, like he has no real truth, and he was with them, so he must have seen. But Danny looks at the bag and goes, does that look familiar to you? It looks familiar to me. It looks like the sack that guy had when he took my money. And Lectra's like, I wasn't paying attention to that. I was looking at other things. So Danny takes the cart with Bolzen after he got some of the money out of the sack, and Aaron and Electra took the money that was stolen back, that they thought was full, back to where they had been, the bar, and they gave the guy the money, and he was talking to the guards outside, and he was like, shakes it around, checks it out, counts his money, and he's like, that seems like the right amount. Next time I will make sure that your friend gets arrested. And Lectra and Era we didn't know. He just thought it was up for grabs since it was on the table. The guy looked annoyed, but didn't say much else. And the group went back to where they were staying, which was the Blue Satyr. Lectra, as normal, would stay in the woods, and Danny, Bolzen, Bledwin, Aaron, and Dalen would get rooms. Dalen, though, was not there at the time. He had stayed at the Red Inn, where he was talking to Madame Red about her hair and everything, and then she took him downstairs, knowing that he was a little bit different than everyone else, because he noticed those things. And as he was walking downstairs, he heard some weird noises, thought something else, and it turned out to be training grounds for a group of individuals. This is where he ended up getting us a few quests, but he does that after we do a couple things, so continue on. As he was leaving, he ran into a dragonborn and orc who sold a ton of different goods and offered him some pretty good deals, but he did not take them because he thought the party would want to look at them too, so he was going to tell them about it, but he ends up telling them about it later. The second day they were there, Bloodwind found a quest for them to do at the Adventurers Guild, and Danny and Lectra were hanging out with the Hateful Eights. We're going to go back to Underhar once their money ran out, which was very intriguing to Danny and Lectra and the rest of the Hunters of Antiquities, because Danny and Lectra brought them over to talk to them. As Danny and Lectra got drunk, they told them about the earthquake and finding the other ruins, and it was very interesting to the Hateful Eight because, you know, they had been already in Underhar and they were like, oh, that's so cool, you guys must have also found treasure, and everyone was like, yeah, but we didn't bring much of it out. There were some rumors going around about huge waves in Scarton City and being swallowed up by those waves, and a huge volcano in Talhaven, or a mound of earth that's starting to form and try to swallow up Talhaven. Bloodwind was the one trying to see if there's anything going on to the north. After some communication with the Hateful Eight, the Hunters of Antiquities decided to go and deal with the things that were going on to the west before they headed directly east to go straight to Underhar through the plains. After they drank a bunch, they slept, and they told the Hateful Eight that they were going to leave, and the Hateful Eight reminded them that they were going to leave once their money ran out. So the group headed west to go and take care of some weird occurrences that were that way. As the group was leaving, they found some arrows shot in some dead creatures. The group tried to look at the arrows, and they could not figure out what these arrows really were. They had some idea, but they could not tell exactly what these arrows were, and so they took a few, and they still carry them around to this day because I think we forgot about them, to be honest. As the group walked along, they found a little gnome hiding in the brush, and there were giants hiding in the ruins. The group ended up helping out the gnome kill those giants who had killed her friends, and the gnome told them that her name was Nibbles. I'm Nibbles the Rock Gnome, and I really, really want to go to a library all the way in Talhaven. And the group says, okay, we'll take you that way. We're going to Underhar first. Would you like to come with us? And she said, oh, good golly, I would love to. Also, here's a gift for helping me. I only have this left, and it's a bag of holding. And the group was like, okay, we'll take it. We've been looking for a bag of holding anyways. The group heads back to Tobathin, where they run into the salesman that Dalen had forgot to tell them was there, and the group was talking to them, and they couldn't afford anything, but they said, Aaron specifically was like, if I ever see you again, I would like those bracers of giant strength that you have. And he nodded, and he said, yes, if I see you again, I would definitely sell them to you if someone else does not want them. When the group makes it back to Tobathin, the next day, my dad's character goes and gets a quest for Talhaven from Madame Red. The group looks for the Hateful Eight after they had come back, but the Hateful Eight had already ran out of money, and they were already heading back to Underhar. So the group has, at this point, they are going to rest for the night, and they will grab their cart in the morning and their horses and take off to Underhar. They rest for that night, they get drunk that night, they start heading off to Underhar. As they are heading to Underhar, it was very much uneventful. They saw a couple T-Rexes, ran into a killer bees. The biggest things were when they fell, and Bloodwind and Nibbles created a featherfall, and then they both blasted fireballs at goblins that lived in this hole. Erin kept failing her strength checks, so Lectra summoned some animals to help her pull up, and Danny helped her out too. And then Erin realizes, I could rage and get some help with my strength, and then she finally does that after she's already exhausted. After they get everything out, the group takes a couple more days, and then they arrive at this river that's deep and wide to cross. And normally, like, there was a rope there that they had done originally. There's no bridges or anything. So Aaron goes across and ties a rope, and Electra summons some giant octopus and has them carry the horses across with Aaron's help. When the group makes it across the river safely, it was a couple more days until they arrived at Underhar. It was about 35 days in all to travel to Underhar, or a little bit less, a little bit more. It depends on... I don't have the map. Dalen has the map, so Lecture can't tell you what's happened. Only a few members were left when they arrived at Underhar. The rest were lost in Underhar, and the two that were there were like, we don't know what happened. We were jumped by a bunch of creatures, like a bunch of things happened, and we cannot do anything about it. And our group, after realizing, even though 8 people could not handle Underhar, that they think they can handle Underhar. So they say, we will go in and find them, and we will bring them back, whether dead or alive. And our group goes and enters Underhar. And that's where I'll end for this time, because there's a lot in Underhar, and our group actually plans to go back to Underhar, and I can't wait for that story, because we have a bunch of new, like, things that have happened since then, and our people are actually going to be able to handle Underhar now. Like, when you hear the story, you'll understand how bad Underhar was. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, please. It really does help me if you're watching my videos. If you watch them constantly, if you like them, please like. It actually helps me out. I would love your thoughts down in the comments below about things I can improve on, or other stories you would like to hear, other games you would like to see me play. If there's anything else, go ahead. I will try and do so. Have a good rest of your day, night, or sleep well. Goodbye!